Hi guys! Hope everyone is having a great Dollidays season. Not going to spend too long on the intro here because the title, I'm sure, is pretty self-explanatory. We love Christmas, we love ranking videos, we love Barbie. Put it all together and hopefully you have a recipe for a great Dolliday Special. Before we do get into it, just know that we'll probably have differing opinions and disagree on some of these rankings. And that's okay. Holiday Barbies tend to be associated with pretty happy memories, and I love that. And me calling your favorite Holiday Barbie a flopped, ugly, busted mistake of a doll can't take those memories away. I'm not gonna be mad if you like a doll that I don't, so please don't take it personally. Barbara doesn't mind, we have an understanding, she knows this is just for fun. Oh, also, I don't actually own any of these dolls, so I can't really speak on the actual quality of the doll. I have to go completely by pictures here, but again, this is just for fun. If you want to see someone who is actually informed, Beauty Inside a Box, who I'm a big fan of, has made the same ranking video in the past, and he actually does own every doll, which is extremely impressive, so I'm giving credit where credit is due and we'll be linking that below. But regardless, I have my own opinions, and we have 30 plus dolls to get through, so let's go ahead and get into it. First, let me introduce the tiers. In the top tier, we have It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Chris Yas. This is for the top of the best of the best, our Christmas queens. Next, we have Hit the Sleigh Button. This is for the ones that I quite like, that I think are lovely, but they're just missing that certain something that keeps them from being top tier. Then we have Under the Middle Toe. I know, I struggled with these names, I'm sorry, but as the name implies, these are the ones that are mid. I don't love them, I don't hate them, they're okay. Next, there's Silent Night, and this tier is for the ones that I find so uninteresting that I just don't have a lot to say about them. They're not egregiously bad, but I still don't like them very much. And the last tier, Jingle Bell Flop. Self-explanatory, the flops, the uglies, the lumps of coal. Alright, now let's rank these ladies. Starting with the very first Holiday Barbie, the progenitor of the Holiday Barbie tradition, 1988. And also the only Holiday Barbie who is actually worth more than like $20. Do you hear that, thrift stores? Anyways, legacy aside, she's not a great first impression. Not hideous, but it's just a fairly simple dress, and she's clearly trying to wrap herself in as much stiff-looking tulle and cheap bows as possible to distract from the fact that her forehead is big enough to hang the entire family's stockings off of. And frankly, it's not working. I know, it feels disrespectful, but I have to put her in Silent Night. 1989. An improvement on last year in every way. The white dress with the sort of icicle motif is incredibly lovely. It's so poofy and dramatic, but the fur trim and the shawl I think make it look very elegant. Her hair is also so great and so quintessential Barbie for this era. I don't love her little hair accessory, I think it's just a little bit too silly looking, but it's the only big complaint I have, so I'm putting her in Hit the Sleigh Button. 1990. So this is where I'm probably going to lose some people. I actually am not a huge fan of traditional Christmas aesthetics. I actually prefer when the Christmas side is a lot more subtle. That said, subtle is not exactly a word I would use to describe this doll. She is a monster, a beast, a big pink fluffy monstrosity. And I'm sorry, but I'm eating it up. Every crumb. It's just so Barbie. I don't know what else I could ask for from her. She goes in beginning to look a lot like Chris Yas. I already feel some people disagreeing with me, but I can't help it. I see something big, pink, and fluffy, and I just lose all my sensibilities. 1991. I know that it's supposed to be green velvet, but in a lot of photographs, the dress just looks black. Weirdly somber for a Christmas dress. This is after her grandmother got ran over by a reindeer and she's on her way to the funeral. But of course she's still going to be the best dressed one there. She knows Grandma Roberts left her the dream house and the will. I do think the dress is still nice enough, though the stones all over the bodice and the sleeves do make it look a little cheap. Silent Night for her. 1992. Girl. Barbara, what happened here? I do like the idea of this dress in theory, and I do love how over the top it is, and I appreciate the commitment, but in practice, it really does not work for me. I also really don't like the skirt at all. It altogether, it just looks kind of like a mess. It's a Jingle Bell flop for me. 1993. Okay, this dress is ugly and I don't feel bad saying that. I don't like the shape of it, and I'm really not a fan of the bodice either. And you might be asking, darling, what's the difference between this one and 1990? They're both absolute monstrosities. Well, 1990 is pink, so it's better. Yeah, that's literally it. I don't like this one, it's another Jingle Bell flop. 1994. Again, I do prefer when the Christmas motif is subtle, and I think this one strikes a good balance between being very Christmassy and also just being a pretty nice look on its own. I like the gold, I think it looks very elegant, and I guess I'm just a sucker for a fur trim. Very cute, but just not my favorite, so she goes in, hit the sleigh button. 1995. So this one is definitely a little too Christmassy for my tastes. And yes, I do realize how crazy that sounds on a video ranking the Holiday Barbies. But this is my ranking video and I hold the power here, and I actually do like the silhouette of it, like I love the big dramatic collar a lot, but the colors and the pattern just ruin it a little for me. So she goes under the middle toe. 1996. My birth year, so she's already at an advantage there. But aside from that, I love this one. She's giving me the exact winter princess fantasy I want from a Holiday Barbie. This look is just so pretty and so elegant and so classic and so adorable all at the same time. She goes in beginning to look a lot like Chris Yoss. Oh my god, I don't know how many times I can say that out loud. But it's funny because she's like exactly the opposite of 1990 in every single way, but they're both iconic in their own special way. 1997. So 1997 is a little unique in that the dark-haired one is actually considered the default Barbie this year. The blonde one was, I believe, exclusive in some way and is actually a lot rarer. So I applaud her for trying something different. I cannot, however, applaud her for the green eyeshadow. That was a choice. The dress itself, though, is very ridiculous and also very Christmassy, so I feel like I shouldn't like it, but I kind of do. It's overall a bit of a mess, but it does have some pretty cool details, so I'll put her under the middle toe. 1998. So I have a personal vendetta against 1998. Every single thrift shop or antique shop or secondhand toy store I've ever been in, she is, without fail, there. And frankly, I'm a little tired of her. But also, while I said I do prefer more subtle Christmas elements, this one kind of lacks any holiday element at all. She's not giving Christmas or snow or wintertime or anything like that, and the look is actually quite lovely. I do really like the styling and the updo especially, but yeah, she's just not giving me much to work with. Silent night for her. 1999. She's unique in that she's actually a New Year's Barbie celebrating the new Millennium, and I absolutely adore her. I think she has just exactly the right amount of theming, not too much and not too little, and the blue velvet of her dress is so perfect and so elegant. I'm probably going to be using that word a lot, and her face is incredibly gorgeous as well. If you haven't guessed already, it's beginning to look a lot like Chris Yoss. 2000. Another one that's technically a New Year's Barbie, I think, and unfortunately, infinitely inferior to her predecessor. I do like the first doll, but there's nothing else I have particularly strong opinions on. I think she just definitely suffers from coming right after 1999, who just left some very large silver pumps to fill. Silent night for her. 2001. This is another that I'm just kind of meh. We've seen the fur scarf thing already, we've seen the silver dress moment. Her hair and makeup are quite pretty, but she's just definitely lacking that wow factor for me. So she goes under the middle toe. 2002. Oh my gosh, this one is so gorgeous. Again, it's not a new silhouette, but it's definitely elevated in every single way. The color is great, the high pony is giving Arianka, the face is lovely, and the dress itself is just absolutely stunning. It's a very kind of classic motif, but also very unique and still giving Christmas in a very subtle, very elegant way. It's beginning to look a lot like Chris Yoss. 2003. She's very beautiful too. I love the almost medieval fantasy with this silhouette. She's giving Snow Queen. She's giving the White Witch from Narnia. Like, She just sacrificed Aslan on that altar and made a coat out of his fur. I love the hair, this gorgeous partial updo, and I love how mature and dignified she looks. You already know, it's beginning to look a lot like Chris Yoss. 2004. My gosh, we are on a roll because 2004 is just as beautiful. Green is not my favorite color, far from it actually, so the fact they have me drooling over this very green dress is such an accomplishment. There was a Sears version with a wine-colored dress. Remember Sears? But I actually like the green version a lot more. I think she looks like such a queen. For the third time in a row, it's beginning to look a lot like Chris Yoss. 2005. But all good things must come to an end. So this one was designed by Bob Mackie, actually. And I love Mackie. I absolutely respect him as a designer, and he's made some amazing Barbies over the years. But this is not one of them. She's not horrible, but there's just a lot going on, and I'm not a big fan of any of the individual elements. She's also kind of missing that Christmas charm for me. Sears has an exclusive green version this time around, but it's not any better. She goes into Silent Night. 2006. Another Mackie one. One compliment I will give her, she makes me laugh if I look at her from behind. Other than that, I don't know. It's a very interesting design, and I like that it's sorta out of the box, but she's not for me. Into Silent Night she goes. 2007. I'm surprised that it took this long to get one that was overtly Santa themed. And I kind of like this interpretation of Santa's outfit into a very glamorous ball gown. It's definitely nothing new or groundbreaking, and I also think the black lace elements are also very unnecessary and honestly kinda ugly, but she's okay. She's cute. She ate the Christmas cookies up and left a few crumbs. She may not be delivering a look, but she's delivering the presents. And that's okay. She goes under the middle toe. 2008. From the waist up, she is a 10 out of 10. Her hair is gorgeous, and the top half of her dress is absolutely stunning. The lace netting just looks so elegant, and her face, oh my god, it's so beautiful. She's peak glamour. And she would go in the top tier, no question, if not for the skirt, which I just absolutely don't like. I wish it was white and not this very shiny silver that's almost like metallic. I'm not a huge fan, so she goes in. Hit the sleigh button. 2009. This doll. My god, this doll. I love her. First off, she's pink, so excellent by default. But I do really love the dress. The color is gorgeous and it's very, very elegant. No, it's not extremely Christmassy, but it does still look fairly festive to me. And her face. This doll is painted for the gods. And I mean, literally, she has makeup you can see from space. She's all the glamour I miss from Barbie these days. But I do think she could look just a tad more Christmassy, so she goes and hit the sleigh button. 2010. She's very cute, serving a little candy cane queen realness, but I wish there was a little more going on with the skirt, because the very intricate pattern on the bodice is very cool, and the headband is really cute, but everything else is just a little bit boring. I even think if the skirt was just red, that might have helped a lot, but I don't know. Again, she's cute, she gets the job done, but she's not my favorite by any means. Under the middle toe she goes. 2011. So I do really like the green and gold combo and the very elegant embroidery, but I'm just not a big fan of the shape of the dress overall. I also don't like the hair very much. I do like that she looks very mature and kind of stately, but I don't know, she's not doing it for me. She goes under the middle toe as well. 2012. Maybe if this came out in like 1995, I would like it more, but at this point, it's just another poofy red dress to me. They did some unique things here and there, but it's not enough for me. I'm still riding the high of 2002 to 2004, and she is definitely not on their level. I don't have anything particularly snarky to say about her, I guess, so I'm putting her into Silent Night. 2013. I hate this doll. There is not a single thing on this doll that looks like it costs more than 10 cents to produce. She looks like she's wearing toilet paper. And not even 2-ply, like gas station public bathroom toilet paper. And that would be forgivable if the dress at least looked good, but no, this is ugly. This is garbage. She goes into Jingle Bell Flop. 2014. Okay, so she's not as bad as last year, but again, it is just very much like a red dress to me. I like the gold lace details, but it's still just very meh. I also really do not like her face. It's probably the most un-Barbie-ish I've seen so far. It just overall looks very cheap and not very unique or inspired, so I'm putting her into Silent Night. 2015. So, shockingly, we have another red ball gown, and again, this might have been cute in the 90s, but this late into the game, it just looks so uninspired. And I'm not saying that every year the dress has to be more over the top than the last, like I actually really love designs that are more elegant and understated, but I do just desire something that breaks the mold a little bit, and nothing about this dress does, so into Silent Night she goes. 2016. This one has a few different variations. Yes, one of them is red, but we'll focus on the blonde one since that's what we've been doing up to this point, and her color scheme is my favorite, but I still hate her. I think the plastic bodice looks unbelievably cheap, and she by far has the most simplistic and unimaginative doll so far. All it would take really is like just some nice jewelry or a headpiece or literally anything to dress her up, but she's just so lacking, and I don't like her. She's a Jingle Bell flop. 2017. It's a red ball gown. Putting a big star behind her does not hide the fact that it is another red gown. It's a new silhouette, I guess, but I still don't love it. I think the big star doesn't really add anything, and the dress just looks very cheap, and the styling leaves a lot to be desired. She goes into Jingle Bell flop. 2018. Well, she's red. Very red. And I know this big, poofy, tulle layered dress was very trendy in 2018, but I just don't love the look of this dress overall. I think at least the chunky jewelry and the jeweled Alice band is cute, but yeah, she's still not my favorite. I'm putting her into Silent Night. 2019. Okay, surprisingly, I don't feel unbridled rage looking at this doll. Do I think she's pretty? Not particularly, but the dress is cute in a very safe way, and it is definitely very festive. I do like the candy cane theme, but I think it could have been a lot better. Again, there's just a stark lack of styling or extra effort put into making her look extra glamorous compared to a lot of the past dolls. But I'll be generous and put her under the middle toe. 2020. There are some dolls on this list that, like, I know people are going to think I'm crazy for thinking they're ugly, but this one, I honestly think we will all agree this is hideous. This is horrid. This is ghastly. This is dreadful. One of my least favorite Barbies, like, period. Santa has a stockpile of these dolls just in case he runs out of coal one year and has to give out something equally as disappointing and unpleasant to look at. I do not like this doll, and I don't think she likes me either, but that's okay because she's a Jingle Bell flop. 2021. This Barbie is wrapped in foil and ready to be baked in the oven at 350 for 30 minutes. I do think that the breastplate is a cool idea, but the execution is so poor. The plastic is so cheap that all the details are like barely even visible, and the skirt is just awful. The netting is confusing, the material looks terrible. I don't have anything nice to say about her. I really wish we could have ended on a better note here, but she's also a Jingle Bell flop. So, there we go. Here's my rankings. Absolutely let me know which ones you agree or disagree with. Tell me what your favorite holiday Barbie is, and also tell me which one is your least favorite and why it's 2013. As always, just thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe for any future fashion doll content. And whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope you're having a great Dolliday season, and I hope it's happy, cozy, and of course, full of dolls. Thank you.